All right, Mike McGordy here from mikesbackyardnursery.com. Today I want to do a real short video for you on pruning shrubs because, you know, pruning is one of the things that people struggle with the most. It's the one thing that they just can't bring themselves to do because they're afraid they're either going to make a mistake or they don't want to cut the flowers off or they're going to cut too much off. This is probably the biggest domestic issue in households because she doesn't like the way he pruned or he doesn't like the way she pruned, and I get caught up in the middle of that sometimes, which I'm not crazy about. But so the first thing I'm going to tell you is you really want a really nice pair of pruning shears, and where you're going to find these I have no idea, but I'm going to do some research for you. I bought these at one of the nursery supply houses and I absolutely love them because they're lightweight, they have the right angle. The brand name is, and I'll spell it, it's OKATSUNE. OKATSUNE. They're made in Japan, but these are really high quality, great shears. I've owned these for a long time. They cut great. I'll tell you this, I bought a pair. They're hanging in the wall in there. If you want them, you can have them. I bought them at the big box store. I hate them. They're terrible. They are not good pruning shears. In the industry, I don't care what industry you're in, whatever trade you're in, you demand that you're going to use good tools. Oh, I don't have my pruners. I give them to Caleb there. But anyway, I use Corona hand shears because they do a great job, and for the most part they're affordable. And these shears I love. So when I post this thing to Mike's Backyard Nursery, I'll put a link and I'll see if I can find somebody that sells these online, because I actually want, thanks Caleb, I actually want to buy another pair. So these are the shears. This is the Corona, I don't know, I can't read it, BR 3130 or something. I know you can find these on Amazon. I just ordered 3 pair of them. So anyway, when you're pruning something like this, you know, let me start with this one. This is completely unpruned. This is Shirobana Spirea, Shirobana. This one is really nice because it blooms with both white and pink flowers. Extremely popular. It's a great seller. It's easy to propagate, easy to grow. And now you're all going to get mad at me because I'm cutting the flowers off. But we're going to mulch this bed today. So today is the day that this thing gets pruned. I prefer these over power shears any day because it's so easy for me. Right now I'm just taking the top off of this thing, getting it shaped the way I want, and then I simply flip them over, and that gives me an entirely different angle to start working my way down the sides. Now when you go down the side, you want to cut like this at a little bit of an angle. You don't want to cut in because you always want the sun to be able to hit the leaves. If not, you're going to end up with a really bare looking plant down low like that. So at the very best, you want to prune the sides. I prune it down like this, and then when I get right at the very bottom, I will pretty much go vertical, as you see here. So essentially that's what I do. Cindy, what have I not told them that they're going to ask? Time of year, anytime. Anytime you feel like it. Anytime that you're walking by and you have shears in your hand. Don't worry about bloom date. Don't worry about that. Just trim them. You know, we just did a video in the nursery a week or so ago, and we were trimming stuff really, really hard. I want to do a follow-up to that to show you how beneficial that was to those shrubs. So anyway, that's my pruning video. I think we've kind of covered it. You have questions? You know, I love answering questions, but I answer questions on 2 or 3 Facebook pages. I answer questions at mikesbackyardnursery.com. I answer questions at JapaneseMapleLovers.com. And then I spend at least an hour or 2 a day, probably closer to 2 or 3 hours a day, in our private members area answering questions. So it's rare for me to answer a question on YouTube in the comments area because there's only so many hours and I have plenty to do. So that's just something I've never gotten into because I just don't have the time. So thanks for understanding. I answer questions on mikesbackyardnursery.com every single day, twice a day. So if you have a question, post it there and I'll see it. So I'm Mike McGordy. Hopefully you found this helpful.